The blind beggar's wish, the gift of true sight. The town of Bright Harbor was exactly what its name promised, a bright, busy place next to the great, shining sea. The town was always full of sounds, the happy cry of seagulls, the rhythmic clanging of bells from the harbor, and the loud, cheerful noise of the market. In the very heart of this constant noise stood a girl named Maria. Maria was 12 years old, quick as a fish and clever as a fox. She didn't sell food or fishing nets, she worked with wishes. She had a small, neat stall where she sold paper lanterns, tiny, delicate creations she folded herself, each one meant to carry a hopeful wish up into the dark night sky. Maria loved her town, but she felt a strange, quiet sadness. It seemed like the people were always rushing. They saw the money they wanted to earn, they saw the chores they needed to finish, but they missed the real, gentle magic all around them. They saw things, but they didn't really look. Right outside Maria's colorful stall sat an old man named Master Peter. Master Peter was a beggar. He was very old, with hands like knotted wood and deep, kind wrinkles around his mouth. He was also completely blind. He sat quietly on a low wooden stool, wearing a simple, clean brown cloak and held a smooth wooden bowl for coins. Most people who passed by were kind but hurried. They would drop a coin and rush off, never speaking a word. But Maria always stopped. "Good morning, Master Peter," she would say brightly. "The sea today is the color of deep blue glass and the ships have sails like clean, white clouds." Master Peter would turn his face toward her voice and smile. It was a deep, warm smile that started in his chest and made his entire face glow. Maria, my little storyteller. Thank you. Your words paint the picture better than any I ever could. I see it perfectly now." Maria often thought that Master Peter, without his eyes, saw the world better than anyone else. He listened to the waves and knew if the fishing boats were safe. He heard the sound of footsteps and knew if the person was happy or worried. One hot, slow afternoon, Maria was feeling gloomy. A small, perfect lantern, which she had spent hours folding into the shape of a tiny crane, sat unsold. She sighed, a heavy, air-moving sound that came all the way from her feet. She rested her chin on her neat pile of paper, watching the busy market. Master Peter heard her sigh. "A storm cloud in the sky, little one?" he asked softly. "Yes, Master Peter," Maria replied, kicking at a bit of dust. "I feel like I put so much effort into these lanterns, but nobody truly sees them. They only buy the big, cheap ones that the other vendor, Henry, sells. My special, tiny ones stay here, gathering dust." Master Peter chuckled, a low, rumble-like sound. He reached into the deep pocket of his cloak. He pulled out a small, smooth, ordinary-looking gray stone. It was about the size of a large thimble. But when he held it up to the sun, Maria saw a faint, deep shimmer of blue and gold hidden deep inside the stone, like trapped starlight. "This is a wish stone," Master Peter whispered, holding it out to her. "A simple, gentle piece of magic. It will grant one single, true wish. But there is a rule, Maria. You must only wish for something for someone else. If you wish only for yourself, the stone will turn to dust immediately." Maria looked at the stone, then at Master Peter. "Why are you giving this to me? Don't you have a wish for yourself?" "My wishes," Master Peter said, turning his blind eyes toward the sea, "are simply for a quiet day and a kind word." "And you give me the kind words every morning." "No, Maria. You are one of the very few who sees the world with kindness. The stone belongs with you. Use it wisely, and when the time is right." Maria took the stone. She tucked it deep into her apron pocket and didn't touch it for days. She thought about wishing for a comfortable bed for Master Peter, but he always said he preferred sleeping under the stars. She thought about wishing for money for him, but he seemed so peaceful without a lot of things. She knew she had to find the biggest, most selfless wish possible. The right time came on a very cold, windy afternoon. Master Peter was shivering under his cloak, and a grumpy man had just loudly told him he was blocking the path. The cold air seemed to carry only mean and fast words. Maria looked at Master Peter's closed eyes. He was missing the simple beauty she described every day, the bright pink and orange clouds, the way the light made the wet cobblestones shine, and the rich green color of the moss growing on the old stone wall. She decided his biggest lack was the site itself. Maria stepped close to him. She pulled out the warm, smooth wish stone and held it tight in both hands. The blue and gold light inside the stone seemed to grow brighter, waiting. "Master Peter," she said, her voice clear and strong. "Yes, little one." "I have used the stone," Maria announced. "I know what I wish for." Master Peter leaned forward, listening carefully. "I wish that you could see again," Maria said firmly. "I wish you could open your eyes and finally see the colors of Bright Harbor. The beautiful blue sea, the sparkle on the water, the lovely lanterns, and the faces of all the good people who passed by." As she finished the wish, the smooth gray stone flashed a brilliant, blinding white light like a tiny sun exploding in her hands. The light disappeared, and the stone was simply gone. It hadn't turned to dust because the wish was pure. Master Peter gasped. He squeezed his eyes shut, then slowly, carefully, he opened them. He blinked, tears forming in the corners of his eyes, not from pain, but from shock. He reached up and touched his eyes, then looked at his hands, seeing the lines and wrinkles clearly. "Oh, Maria," he whispered, his voice full of unbelievable wonder. "Oh, my dear child. The colors. They're even richer than your words described. The red of that fish, the blue of the sky, and you, Maria. You are more wonderful than I ever imagined. I can see." He stood up, stretching his legs. He wasn't weak. He was a strong, tall man, just very old. He looked at Maria, truly seeing her for the first time, her bright, eager eyes, her clever, stained hands, and her kind smile. He looked at the market, at the busy crowds, the bright stalls, and the distant, sparkling sea. Master Peter was overjoyed. He spent the entire day looking at everything. He laughed at the tiny details. But after that first magical day, something strange and sad began to happen. Master Peter was no longer peaceful. He looked at the stall next to Maria's, run by the fisherman Henry. Peter saw the cracked, rotten wood of Henry's counter and the dark stains on the rope. "That counter is cracked." Master Peter snapped at Henry. "Why haven't you fixed that? It looks ugly and unsafe. Your fishing nets are tangled, too." He frowned at the baker, pointing at a smudge of flour on the baker's ear. "How can you run a business looking so sloppy and untidy?" He even started to complain to Maria. "Your stall is facing the wrong way, child. The lanterns would catch the light better if you moved the table. And look, this red paper is slightly wrinkled. You should make them perfect, absolutely perfect, or nobody will buy them." Master Peter was no longer the warm, wise man who saw beauty. He was critical and fussy. His perfect sight made him miserable because he saw only the flaws in the world, the chipped paint on the boats, the dirt on the road, the angry, tired look in a merchant's eyes. Maria felt like crying. She had given Master Peter the most wonderful gift, and it had stolen his peace. She missed his happy, calm voice. One quiet evening, Maria sat alone on a harbor bench, watching the sunset. The sky was burning with deep crimson and orange, and the sea was a sheet of glowing silver. Master Peter walked by, now wearing a neat, expensive new coat. He didn't even see her at first. "Master Peter," Maria said quietly. He stopped, sighing heavily, a sound of frustration. "Oh, Maria. It's all a mess, isn't it? Everything is so imperfect. Look at the rust on that anchor. Look at the children tracking mud everywhere. I wish I could just find one thing in this town that was truly, cleanly good." Maria looked out at the water, where the colors were mixing in a huge, beautiful painting. "Master Peter," she said softly, "when you couldn't see, you told me the sea looked like amethyst and pearl. You heard the sounds of children laughing. You felt the warmth of the sun and knew the town was beautiful just by the noises." "Yes, well, I was wrong," he said, shaking his head and frowning at a passing fishing boat with a ragged sail. "Now I see the dirt and the greed. I see the broken things and the mistakes. I was much better off not knowing how messy the world is." She knew the magic had worked, but Master Peter had chosen to use his eyes only for judgment. "Master Peter," Maria said, taking his hand gently. His fingers were stiff now, not relaxed as they used to be. "Look at my hands, truly look. He looked, his new eyes seeing every small paper stain and dry line. They are stained with ink, he noted quickly. And one fingernail is chipped. Yes, Maria agreed. But these hands fold wishes for the sky. They are working hands that try to make beautiful things for others. The chip shows they have worked hard. And look at that small boat you are frowning at. Its sail is ragged, yes, but that tear shows it has sailed safely through 100 bad storms. The tear shows that the boat is strong. Maria squeezed his hand. Your eyes show you the flaw, but your heart used to show you the story. When you were blind, you had to listen to the sound of a person's voice, not just the expensive clothes they wore. You had to feel the kindness in a simple coin, not just count its value. You saw the soul of Bright Harbor, not its messy surface. Master Peter stood still, holding her hand. His perfect, new vision suddenly started to blur, not with tears of sadness, but with a new kind of powerful realization. The next day, Master Peter returned to his old, humble spot outside Maria's stall. He still saw the cracked tile, the dirty road, and the tired faces, but he now remembered Maria's powerful words. He still saw the wrinkled paper on her crane, but he felt the love and effort she put into it. He sat on his wooden stool and closed his eyes for a moment. He heard the sea. He felt the sun. He heard Maria talking to a customer with gentle patience. When he finally opened his eyes, he still had his sight, but he used it differently. He chose to look for the goodness. He looked at the cracked tile and thought, someone worked so hard to lay that roof. He looked at the fisherman Henry's messy stall and thought, Henry caught enough fish today to feed 10 families. He smiled, the deep, warm, wise smile Maria had missed so much. Maria, he called out, his voice calm and happy again. Come tell me about the sea today. Tell me its story, little one, not just its color. Maria's face glowed. She knew the wish stone hadn't been wasted. It hadn't given him true sight. It had given him a chance to choose true sight. From that day on, Master Peter still saw the world clearly, but he chose to see it with his heart first. He used his new eyesight to become the town's kindest storyteller, describing things he saw, but focusing only on the goodness and the effort behind them. He proved that you don't need magic to see the truth. You just need to look with the intention to find beauty. The biggest lesson Maria learned was that what you look for is what you will always find. If you look for problems, the world is full of them. But if you look for beauty, kindness, and strength, the world becomes a place of endless, shining wonder. Please subscribe the channel for more stories and like the video. Thank you.